Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to quickly get connected to an Arduino and work with real-time data. First I'm going to start by controlling the built-in LED. So I start by going to the I/O menu and drag a digital output onto my screen. On most Arduinos, including the Nano which I'm using, the built-in LED is on pin 13, so I'm going to leave that as it is. And then I'm going to connect. Select my COM port. I already got Nano selected. And then I'll just hit this connect to Arduino icon. And now Embrio will compile a connection program and upload it to my Arduino. And then once it's connected, I get a good connection sign here. And then I could drag my activation and turn on and off my LED. So Embrio doesn't have a Boolean input type. It just uses this activation, which is a number that goes from 0 to 1. Or if you have this little negative icon selected, it goes from -1 to 1. I'll explain more about that later. If you open up the code and go to the change when this activation value changes, it checks if the input is above 0.5, and if it is, it does a digital write high, and if it's below, it does a digital write low. So on my breadboard, I also have a potentiometer and another LED. So I'm going to control those with an analog input and an analog output node. So since I added nodes that change or that touch physical pins, I have to refresh my connection program. And while I'm doing that, I'll set my pins. My potentiometer is on analog pin 3, and my LED is on digital pin 6. That's one of the PWM enabled pins. So now my connection program is connected again, and I can control my LED just by dragging this activation. And this is a PWM enabled LED, so it's fading. And then I could also turn my potentiometer and see my potentiometer value there. And I can open up a graph and see my potentiometer graph. Most inputs and outputs can be graphed, and this helps with working with real-time data quite a bit. So now I'll just connect my potentiometer to my built-in LED and to the other LED, and now I can control the LEDs with the potentiometer. So lastly, on my breadboard I have a hobby servo. For this one I can go to the library tab and find an outputs servos hobby servo, and I can just drag that onto the screen. I'm going to undo that. Or I could go to the website, which also has the library, and you get more information here. So you have all this information about how to set it up and how to use the node. So I like to use the website a lot. And all you have to do to add the node is go down here, Control A to select all of the XML that defines the node, and then just go back into Embrio and paste the node in. So if I open up this node, you'll see that it's using the servo.h library. So in the declaration, it just creates a servo instance, and then in every update, it uses my servo.write, transforming the input activation value from its range of 0 to 1 to the range that the servo needs, which is 0 to 188. So again, I'll refresh my connection program. Got to set my servo, it's on pin 3, digital pin 3, which is also a PWM pin. And now that my connection program is refreshed, I can control my servo by just dragging the activation. And of course, I can control it with the potentiometer. So there you have it. Connecting to an Arduino with Embrio is very easy, working with live data. You can use these built-in analog and digital input and output nodes for simple things. For more advanced things, you could use the library, and if there's not a built-in node, you can create your own node using any Arduino library code.